At precisely 4:42 a.m., 3 Iranian Gravely-class submarines settled on the seabed, 18 miles southeast of the Bandar Abbas shipping lanes. The crew powered down their electric motors, leaving only the silent presence of 115 tons of North Korean-derived steel resting 97 feet beneath the waves. Above, the pre-dawn darkness concealed a battle already unfolding beneath the surface, one that would have far-reaching consequences. The Iranians believed the geography was on their side. The Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway that funnels 20% of the world's oil, was a place where the natural environment could serve as an amplifier for asymmetric warfare. The conditions here created a labyrinth of obstacles that could confound even the most advanced military technology. The narrowness, the strong tidal currents, and the cluttered acoustic environment of merchant traffic could provide the perfect cover for submersible operations. But little did the Iranian submariners know. The U.S. Navy had been tracking them for days. The Americans knew exactly where the Gravely-class submarines were, and they were prepared. At its narrowest, the strait measures just 21 miles wide. While this constricted geography makes the choke point a hotspot for global oil transport, it also makes it ideal for Iran's submarine force to exploit its capabilities. The submarines, designed for operations in shallow waters where larger vessels cannot venture, you could sit motionless on the seafloor for extended periods, avoiding detection by traditional sonar. The Iranians, however, miscalculated their advantage. Their target, the USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, conducting a routine freedom of navigation operation in the waters Iran claims as its own. To the Americans, it was just another day on the job. To the Iranians, it was an opportunity to send a message, one that would backfire spectacularly. The Iranian submarines, lying in wait, hoped to launch a surprise attack with 6 torpedoes converging on the U.S. destroyer. The strategy was simple: overwhelm the destroyer's defense systems with multiple simultaneous torpedo attacks, and escape before the Americans could retaliate. However, modern naval warfare no longer relies on luck or surprise. The days of dropping depth charges and hoping for a hit are long gone. Instead, the U.S. Navy uses integrated, multi-layered sensor networks to create a real-time battlespace where every move is monitored and analyzed. From the USS Gravely, ASQ-89 subsurface combat system began processing acoustic data even before the ship entered the strait. Analyzing sonar readings from a variety of sources, the ship's hull-mounted sonar detected potential contacts ahead and astern. Meanwhile, a towed sonar array stretched 3,000 feet behind the ship, passively listening for mechanical transients and disturbances in the water. Up above, a P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft was already in the area, its advanced sonar systems listening for any sign of the Iranian submarines. The Poseidon is no ordinary aircraft. While it may look like a Boeing 737, it is equipped with some of the most advanced sensors in naval warfare. AN/APY-10 radar, capable of mapping surface contacts across 150 miles, and an acoustic suite that processes signals from up to 129 sonobuoys simultaneously, were just a few of the tools it employed to pinpoint any submerged threats. As the Poseidon circled, sonobuoy 23 picked up an anomaly at 4:47 a.m. A faint metallic resonance at bearing 142 degrees, far too regular to be geological and too static to be natural marine noise. The acoustic signature matched Iranian diesel-electric submarines operating in passive mode. Within seconds, the aircraft had tagged the contact and transmitted coordinates to the USS Gravely. A second sonobuoy confirmed the presence of a second contact, and then a third. The Iranian submarines believed they were invisible. They were wrong. In a matter of moments, the USS Gravely knew exactly where they were. The Iranian Ghadir-class submarines, based on the North Korean Yan-class design, are engineered for operations in shallow waters like the Strait of Hormuz, displacing only 117 tons. These submarines are designed to sit motionless on the seafloor for hours, waiting for high-value targets to pass within range. With a top speed of only 11 knots, they are not built to chase targets. Instead, they rely on ambush tactics to catch their prey off guard. The problem for the Iranians, the USS Gravely, wasn't surprised. Inside the destroyer's Combat Information Center, the tactical picture was clear. 3 hostile contacts, 18 miles away, depth 97 feet, sitting motionless in ambush positions. The decision was immediate. Launch the helicopter. 90 seconds later, the MH-60R Seahawk lifted from the destroyer's flight deck. This wasn't a transport helicopter. It was an advanced anti-submarine warfare ASW platform. Equipped with an APS-153 radar for surface search, a dipping sonar capable of being lowered into the water, and an array of sonobuoys and Mark 54 torpedoes, this helicopter could detect, classify it, and engage submarine threats from ranges that the destroyer itself could not reach. The MH-60R Seahawk arrived at the first submarine's last known position at 4:51 a.m. It deployed its dipping sonar, sending out active pings that propagated through the water at 1,500 meters per second. The return echoes clearly painted the silhouette of the Iranian Ghadir submarine sitting motionless on the seafloor. One of the crew of the MH-60R transmitted targeting data back to the USS Gravely, while repositioning toward the second contact. The Iranian submariners believed they were still hidden. The reality: their ambush had already failed. The Iranian plan was simple. Wait until the destroyer closed to within 9 miles, fire 2 torpedoes per submarine, 6 torpedoes in total, and then scatter and evade while the target dealt with the inbound threat. In theory, the plan was sound. The Voyager torpedo and Hoot torpedo were both capable of traveling at extremely high speeds, up to 360 kilometers per hour, and carrying 260-kilogram warheads designed to crack open the hulls of large vessels like the USS Gravely. But for the Iranians, the danger wasn't just in the weapons, it was in the detection systems they were up against. At 4:54 a.m., the MH-60R positioned itself above the first Ghadir submarine and launched a Mark 54 torpedo. The Mark 54 isn't as large as some other torpedoes, but it is highly advanced. It is equipped with digital signal processing that allows it to distinguish between real targets and decoys, making it perfectly suited for the acoustically challenging environment of the Strait of Hormuz. The torpedo entered the water with a quiet propulsion system that left the Iranian crew unaware of the impending threat. As it approached, the Iranian sonar operator detected it, but it was too late. The torpedo detonated just 8 feet beneath the submarine's keel, sending shockwaves through the water. The Ghadir-class submarine was torn apart, sinking in 97 feet of water in less than a minute. 7 Iranian sailors were lost. At 4:57 a.m., the second Ghadir submarine attempted to flee. The crew had heard the explosion and realized their position had been compromised. The submarine surged forward, heading towards Iranian waters. But at just 11 knots, it was no match for the MH-60R. The helicopter reacquired the contact, dropped a second Mark 54 torpedo, and 34 seconds later, the second Ghadir submarine was destroyed. The third Ghadir submarine's captain, made the only smart choice. He surfaced and sent out an emergency surrender signal. The MH-60R circled overhead as a boarding team from the USS Gravely secured the submarine. 7 Iranian sailors were taken into custody. Their submarine was scuttled after intelligence teams had completed their analysis. Iran had lost. The costs were staggering. 3 Ghadir-class submarines, each valued at $25 million, were destroyed, representing a combined loss of over $81 million. The loss of trained submariners further compounded the blow. The United States expended just 2 Mark 54 torpedoes at a cost of $2.4 million. But the true value of the American response was in the message it sent. 3 high-value Iranian submarine assets were eliminated, sending a clear message to Iran's naval planners. Within 48 hours, satellite imagery revealed increased activity at Iranian submarine pens. Boats that would have normally been deployed were staying in port. The Iranian Navy had learned a harsh lesson. Their submarine force wasn't invisible, their tactics weren't clever, and their geography was no longer a shield. The Strait of Hormuz belonged to whoever could control the information. And that information was in the hands of sensor networks that Iran couldn't match. The USS Gravely continued its mission without altering course, its crew fully aware of the threats beneath the surface. Business as usual, as they say, for a surface combatant with systems specifically designed to counter submarine threats.